afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. It was 80 years ago when a retiree from Ludlow, Vermont opened her mailbox and found a check for $22.54 from the U.S. government. It was the first Social Security check in history, and yes, it went to a Vermonter. During the pandemic, there's a lot of concern about finances. Our focus today is on your Social Security. Here's Will Michael with more.
Ida Mae Fuller was the Vermonter who received that first Social Security check back in 1940. The questions raised about Social Security today are much different than in Ms. Fuller's day. Much has changed, including eligibility. So we're fortunate to have with us today one of the country's Social Security experts. Webster Phillips spent 31 years with the Social Security Administration, and he's now a senior policy analyst with the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. Mr. Phillips, thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon.
So let's start with the first question that maybe folks are wondering about. What would somebody need to know about the Social Security and the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, you know, Will, you mentioned the fact that Social Security has changed quite a bit from Ida Mae Fuller's day, and it certainly has. But in many ways, it's not changed. It's one of the beauties of the program is that it started in 1940 paying benefits to retired workers and their family members. Today it pays benefits to retired workers, their family members. It also pays benefits to workers who become disabled. And of course, then as now, it pays benefits to the survivors of deceased workers who qualify for benefits, a wife, children, that sort of thing. So there's a lot that's been continuous about the program, and that's what makes, I think, such a solid, reliable rock for Americans in this troublesome era that we are in, when there is so much uncertainty about whether it's safe to go to the grocery store, whether it's safe to go out for a walk. Social Security is there for retirees, for Americans who are approaching retirement, despite all of the uncertainties of the pandemic. And I think that's really an important point to make to your viewers, that Social Security will be there for them.
So during the pandemic, how can we reach out to our Social Security office?
Well, the employees of the Social Security offices, the local offices, and is there one in Rutland, I believe?
Burlington, yes.
Burlington, Rutland. They're closed to the public in the sense that their employees are not working from that location. For their safety, they're working from home. In order to reach the local Social Security office, you can call their toll-free number, which is 1-800-SSA-1213. And you can also go to their website and find the local telephone number for the local office if you wanted to talk to the people in Rutland or Burlington.
So, well, what are the basic eligibility requirements for Social Security?
Well, it's earned coverage, earned right benefit, and you earn coverage by working. You need 40 credits in order to qualify for retirement benefits. It's a sort of a phased-in requirement for disability benefits, but past a certain age, you also need to have 40 credits there. But basically, you work. Your employer pays your contributions to the program, matches it with his or her own contributions. And then as you approach the age of eligibility, which for retirement benefits is 62, and you decide you needed to apply, whether at that age or at some later age, you basically only need to complete an application to receive the benefits.
I think one of the key things you said as you began to answer that question, these are earned benefits. I want to be clear, and I know you do too. So this is not a social welfare program. This is an earned benefit program.
That's right. This is it's called social insurance, And the insurance model has always been used in presenting, what Social Security will do for you in terms of providing support to workers when they need it, when they retire, when a worker dies, or when a worker becomes disabled. And so, like life insurance, it pays a benefit to the worker or the family member when they experience the loss of income because of retirement, disability, or death. As a matter of fact, if you want to draw the comparison a little bit further, if you didn't have Social Security and you wanted to purchase the same kind of survivorship benefits for your family members, you need to buy a $725,000 life insurance policy. If you were providing disability benefits, you would need to purchase a $580,000 life insurance policy. So Social Security provides some really valuable protection for American workers.
Great examples, Webb. Thank you very much. On that subject of disability, how does one make a claim on that? It's not a retirement, so it must work a little bit differently, a disability claim.
It does. Basically, in order to qualify for a disability benefit, excuse me, you need to have a disability that qualifies, and you need to have a number of work credits that provide disability insured status in order to be able to get the benefits. Most workers who are working continuously and experience an accident or a health problem that disables them will easily be insured for benefits. And the state disability determination services are the ones who gather the medical evidence and evaluate that evidence and make a decision as to whether or not you are disabled. If you are, then the benefits will start after a 5-month waiting period.
What about a situation involving a divorce? How does that work? A couple goes their separate ways.
Well, advice to all individuals who are in a marital relationship: stay married for at least 10 years. And the reason I say that is because in order to qualify for benefits on the divorced spouse's record, you need to have been married for at least 10 years. If you're married for 9 years and 6 months, you will not get a benefit. It's an either or condition. But if you are married for at least 10 years and your former spouse is receiving Social Security benefits or is at least age 62, then you can qualify for a benefit on that record if the amount that you can qualify for as a divorced spouse is greater than what you are receiving on your own Social Security record.
Okay. Speaking of adjustments or your own record, how is that cost of living adjustment? It gets reported in the media every year. How does that get determined for Social Security?
Well, it's based on a consumer price index, which measures the purchasing patterns of urban workers. And it's a year-over-year comparison of that index, September to September. And to the extent that there has been inflation that has pushed the index higher, that percentage increase will be used to increase your cost of your Social Security benefit. It'll become the COLA, as everybody hears it, the term, and it's a percentage increase by which your benefits will be increased. I think it was 1.8% last year. And it may be lower this year. I mean, it's with the gas prices popping up and down like crazy. It's not quite clear, but it may be there may be only a minor cost of living adjustment this year.
Webb, with just a couple of minutes left, I don't want to put you in the position of giving advice. That's not why you're here to inform and educate. But let me ask the question: is there such a thing as a best age for filing for Social Security? A best age or not?
Well, there are a number of best ages. You can file as early as age 62, and these days you'll be taking about a 25% reduction, a lifetime reduction on the benefits. But if you need it, if you've lost your job or you're otherwise are ending your employment, you don't have unemployment insurance, you can file for it. It's why it's there. If you have the ability to postpone filing for Social Security, you can keep working. You have investment income that you can rely on. You can avoid that 25% reduction by waiting till your full retirement age. And to put icing on the cake, you could wait until you're 70 and see an even larger benefits. I mean, the difference between filing at 62 and 70 is about a 74% increase.
So retiring earlier has, I won't say consequences, although it does. And what I hear you saying is just be aware of your situation, which is, I think, a lot of what it's going to come down to for Social Security. Being aware.
Right, right.
Webb, I need to stop us there because we're out of time for today. I can't thank you enough for being with us, taking time from your home in Baltimore and your work with the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. Webster Phillips, thank you for being with us.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
If you have questions about Social Security, you're encouraged to visit the official website, which is ssa.gov. And an important reminder to always guard your Social Security number. The Social Security Administration notes that it will never ask for your number over the phone. And that's our program for today. Once again, thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.